Hi guys, I'm Gatesy. This is Forged from Iron. Thanks for joining me. So, Saïd Benrahma. Now, we've spent 25 million quid on this guy from Brentford. We spent 20 million quid of it about 6 months ahead of schedule, actually, in the January transfer window to free up the loan spot for Jesse Lingard. Since then, he's not really played too much, if you look at it. In fact, he's sort of been very much a bit part player. Now, at present, he's played 20 matches in the Premier League, 10 of which were starts, 10 of which were appearances from the substitutes bench. Now, just looking here, the last game against Manchester United, 28 minutes from the bench. Previous to that, he started against Leeds, lasted 73 minutes. He came on in the Man City game 6 minutes, came on in the Spurs game 25 minutes, came on in the Sheffield United game 8 minutes, started against Fulham, lasted only 56 minutes. I've done a little bit of maths, and in the 20 matches that he's been involved as a West Ham player, he is averaging 49.4 minutes of time on the pitch. Now, I put something on the Forge from Iron Facebook page. It was the little stat that's going around saying that, and this includes cup games, I might add, which is 3 extra games. Matches started, played 12, won 9, drew 2, lost 1, a win percentage of 75%. When he's been on the bench, played 11, won 4, drew 1, lost 6, win percentage 36.6%. Now, one of the posters put a counterpoint to say in the 20 Premier League games, 0 goals, 4 assists. And he asked a very simple question: is this good enough? My response was, it's a bit of a chicken and egg. What came first? Is he contributing so little that it's the reason why he's averaging 49.4 minutes per match in the Premier League? Or is the fact that he's only being played for 49.4 minutes on average in the Premier League the reason why his assists and goals return is so poor? I think this guy is technically the best player that we've got at the club. Um, I believe that he allows us to get up the pitch quicker. I agree that maybe he's giving the ball away cheaply, but he's in advanced positions usually when he's doing that. For me, we've spent 25 million on him. He needs to be getting some game time, and it just strikes me as a little odd that for a guy that we've spent 25 million on, we are giving him so little average time over the course of his Premier League career. As I say again, he has played on average 49.4 minutes per match in 20 matches in the Premier League, 10 of which were starts, 10 of which were from the bench. He also had 2 matches where he was an unused sub. I personally think that he needs to be starting more matches. I personally think he needs more minutes on the pitch. I am of the opinion that he needs to be given a run of matches, a minimum of 6 matches, a maximum of 10 matches, where he plays at least 70 minutes per match. And you need to judge him at the end of that. And if his goal return, if his assist return is not good enough, then I would be the first to hold my hands up and say, actually, you might have a point. Maybe he isn't good enough for the Premier League, but he's, 20 minutes here, 5 minutes there, this, that, and the other. Take yourself back to the Villa game. The Villa game was Jesse Lingard's debut, where he scored 2 goals. One of the goals was assisted by Saïd Benrahma. And Benrahma and Lingard were dovetailing beautifully. Their sort of like interchange was really a joy to behold. He also had a great game against Palace, I thought. just shortly before Lingard signed. If we're not careful, his confidence is going to nosedive, and we're not going to see the best of Saïd Benrahma. We need to be utilising him more as an offensive talent. I think he's someone that we need to be getting the best out of, and at the minute, for whatever reason, we're not. Now, I'm perfectly prepared to hold my hands up if, as I say, he gets a run of games where he's got a significant amount of minutes, and I don't believe that 49.4 minutes in a match is enough, which is what he's averaging. It's not a fair barometer that you can judge this guy on. As I say, he needs to be getting 70 minutes before we can really judge him over a period of, like I say, 6 to 10 games. But what do you think? I mean, you might be, as I say, you might be of the opinion that he's not contributing enough in terms of his goals, in terms of his assists, and that's the reason why he's only getting 49.4 minutes on average in the Premier League. But as I say, the counter argument to that is that maybe the reason why he's contributing so little is because he's getting so little time on the pitch in the first place. As I say, it's very much a chicken and egg. But like I say, I think that if we're going to spend 25, if we spend 25 million quid on a player, for me, I think he needs to be given at least a decent crack of the whip. And I don't see that's happening, especially, like I say, if you look at the last 6 games since the Fulham game, he's pretty much all but one match been exclusively a substitute. As I say, he was substituted in the Fulham game, and the Fulham game wasn't a good game for West Ham. I think that the team struggled, but he wasn't the only player that struggled in that match, in fairness to him. But he lasted 56 minutes, and as I say, since then he had 8 minutes against Sheffield United, where he actually contributed an assist, don't forget. 25 minutes against Spurs, 6 minutes against Manchester City. The start that he had in that little sequence was against Leeds, and he was substituted there. And watch that game back, because from the point where he got substituted, our attacking thrust stopped. It just came to a grinding halt from that point on. Watch that game back. And then he had 28 minutes at Old Trafford against Manchester United when we was already 1-0 down. And I would argue that when he and Lanzini were introduced as an offensive force, we looked better. Now, I accept that as an offensive force up to that point, we were so low that anything had to be an improvement, but he was a part of the reason for that improvement. So I'm making the case that Saïd Benrahma needs a run of games. He needs more minutes on the pitch than he's getting. And then, and only then, if he's still not producing, then I'll hold my hands up and say, hey, do you know what? It hasn't worked out. And maybe that was 25 million quid that wasn't spent wisely. But I seriously think this guy is getting the sharp end of a stick. But as I say, the comment section's down below. I'm sure that this will be quite a polarizing subject. I'm putting forward my opinion, but I'm quite happy to listen to yours. If you think that I'm looking at this from the wrong angle and you want to try and maybe look at it from the other angle and put your point across, as I say, guys, you've got a comment section below. Please put your comments forward in a constructive way. I'll quite happily listen to it. It may well be that I still don't agree with what you're saying and you don't agree with what I'm saying, but we can agree to disagree, and that's fine, not a problem. But yeah, that's what we're discussing today. Saïd Benrahma. What does David Moyes have an issue with him? Does it? It doesn't seem to me, on the face of it, that he trusts him. I could be misreading it, but I don't think that, like I say, in the last 5 games, he's only had one start, and the rest of the time he's just been coming on from the bench, bits and pieces. And yeah, it just seems like his West Ham career is it's maybe not going the way that I think. A player that when we've spent 25 million quid on him and we spent 20 million quid of that 6 months ahead of schedule, we could have waited until the summer and obviously had the medical, had it shown up, the issues that were shown up back when we signed him, then we'd have only been committed to paying the £5 million loan fee and we could have given him back. We can't do that now. So for better or worse, Saïd Benrahma is a West Ham player. We've got him on a contract until the summer of 2026. So to stick him on the bench, I don't really see that we're getting decent value for money. We need to try and make this guy into a first team player, and he's not going to do it if he's contributing so little. And as I say, that's down to the manager. And again, David Moyes has done a fantastic job. I'm not slagging David Moyes off for 1 minute. But I do think on this, he needs to be given more time on the pitch. As I say, you get comments below. Let me know your thoughts. You can also join us at Falls Talk, and you can also join us at Facebook, Falls from Iron. Please like the video, share the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the bell icon, and as soon as Duke or I upload any new content, you will be the first to know. My final parting shot, as usual, I like to try and give a shout out to Isla's Army. And for those of you that are watching and don't know, Isla Caton is a 6-year-old girl. She is suffering with a really rare form of cancer that tends to affect childhood, to be a childhood cancer. It's called neuroblastoma. It's really aggressive. There's no treatment for this in this country, guys. So she can't just go down to the local hospital and get the treatment that she needs and off she goes. No. The family have literally got to put their entire life on hold, press pause, cart this girl off to wherever it is that she gets the treatment. Barcelona 1 minute, the United States the next, whatever, to try and save this little girl's life. Now, they've still got the bills coming in the UK. They've still got their rent, their mortgage to pay, whatever. They've got another child that's still over here whilst they're carting their other child wherever. They've obviously got to pay for the treatment. They've got to pay for their accommodation and just basically the things that they need to do to live from day to day. This is really stressful for them, really expensive. And then you have all this going on in the middle of a global pandemic, guys. It's absolute hell on earth. And just try and put yourself in their shoes. It would be absolutely just so much stress you couldn't even begin to understand it unless you're going through it. So I'm asking you, I'm appealing to you directly. If you're watching this, please consider giving to the appeal to try and save this young girl's life. There's a PayPal in the banner just there. There's a Just Giving in the banner just there. I'd ask you to go to either one of them and make a contribution, no matter how small, even if it is £1. That would be accepted and with a great deal of thanks. The more you can give, obviously, the better. But, all donations will be accepted. And if you cannot donate, because obviously I understand the times that we're living in at the minute, some people have lost jobs and all the rest of it. I ask you in that instance, I thank you for your time. The only thing I would ask you for is to just share this message far and wide, because although you might not be able to contribute to the pot, it may well be that there is someone out there that can contribute and would contribute to the pot to try and save this little girl's life. And every day is critical. The clock is ticking. And as I say, with every day that goes past, the odds get ever more against this poor little girl. So please, if you can contribute in terms of monetary funds into the pot, please do so. Or alternatively, just share this to all your people in your contacts file. And I thank you very much indeed for your attention, ladies and gentlemen. So that's the end of this one. I'm Gatesy. The other fella that isn't here, the ugly one, is Duke. We are Falls from Iron. We like to provoke a little bit of conversation, not sort of like in an argumentative way. As I say, we just put our viewpoints out there, and you agree, you disagree, you tell us what your thoughts are. So as I say, comment section below, get on it, guys, and I thank you very much for your time. Only one thing left to say: come on, you Irons.